All right, today we're talking about something pretty amazing. We're going to look at 7 everyday fruits that research suggests can really help support your body's natural defenses. This becomes especially important for those of us over 60. We're going to see how some really simple choices at the grocery store can be a powerful move for your health. So let's get right into it. Think about that for a second. What if the list you take to the store was more than just for meals? What if it was a genuine defense plan? It's a really cool way to think about it, right? We're not just talking about food as fuel here. We're talking about it as a powerful toolkit for your health, right down to the cellular level. And really, that's the big idea we're diving into today. It's true, as we get older, our bodies face new challenges. But the amazing thing is, nature has given us some incredible resources. So let's break down exactly which fruits can be these powerful allies, and more importantly, why. Okay, first up on our list of cellular defenders, we're talking about berries. Their deep, beautiful colors? Well, that's actually a huge clue to just how powerful they are.
So the magic word here is anthocyanins. That's the stuff that gives berries like blueberries and blackberries that deep, rich color. You can literally think of them as tiny bodyguards for your cells. They're fantastic antioxidants, and they go to work fighting off chronic inflammation. And we know that inflammation is a troublemaker for a lot of health issues. And on top of that, they help keep your gut healthy, which is, ground zero for a strong immune system.
All right, next up, let's talk about citrus fruits. Oranges, lemons, grapefruits. And look, they're way more than just a shot of vitamin C. They actually help out your body's own internal cleaning crew.
Yeah, so of course you get vitamin C, but the real superstars here are compounds called flavonoids. What they do is support your liver, which is your body's main filter, in dealing with nasty stuff. They help it neutralize and get rid of things that can potentially cause harm. So it's kind of like they're helping the body take out the trash before it piles up. That little squeeze of lemon in your water, it's doing a lot more work than you might think.
Okay, moving on to a fruit that has seriously become a superstar in the world of health research, and for a very, very good reason, pomegranates. These things are just packed with some really unique protective powers.
And here's why. The hero ingredient is something called ellagic acid. It's a powerful antioxidant that's thought to help protect our cellular DNA. And you've got to remember, your DNA is literally the blueprint for your entire body. When that blueprint gets damaged, it can lead to all sorts of problems. So protecting it, that is an absolutely fundamental defense strategy.
All right, let's talk about grapes. I'm sure you've heard about that special something they contain, right? The compound that's always getting talked about when it comes to healthy aging. Well, that famous compound is resveratrol, and you find it mostly in the skins of grapes. It's been studied a ton for its potential to sort of put the brakes on processes that could lead to trouble. Basically, by helping protect your cells from stress and damage, it's a huge player in supporting healthy aging at a very deep level. Okay, now for one that might surprise you. Most of us cook with it like a vegetable, but botanically speaking, it's a fruit. We're talking about tomatoes. And there's a really cool trick to unlocking even more of their power. The powerhouse in tomatoes is called lycopene. It's the antioxidant that makes them red, and a lot of studies have linked it to better health outcomes. But here's the cool part I was talking about. When you cook tomatoes, say in a pasta sauce or soup, you actually make that lycopene easier for your body to absorb. So a cooked tomato sauce can be even more powerful than a raw tomato in this case. How neat is that? Let's move on to a fruit that's in a league of its own. It's creamy, it's delicious, it's loaded with healthy fats, and it contains something that scientists sometimes call the master antioxidant. Yep, we're talking about avocados. So that master antioxidant, it's called glutathione. Now, our bodies actually make this stuff, but as we get older, our production levels can start to dip. And that matters because glutathione is absolutely essential for protecting our cells from damage and for helping our natural detox systems clear out junk. And for anyone over 60, those healthy fats in avocados, they're just a fantastic bonus for keeping your brain sharp too. And for our final defender, another one you might not think of as a fruit, olives. We all know they're a cornerstone of that super healthy Mediterranean diet, the one that's famous for helping people live long, healthy lives. Now, the special compounds in olives have some tricky names, oleuropein and hydroxytyrosol, but what they do is amazing. They're great antioxidants, but they also seem to support a really fascinating process called apoptosis. The best way to think of it is like your body's own quality control system. It's the natural process that tells a damaged or haywire cell, hey, your time is up, and gets it to self-destruct before it can cause a bigger problem. It's incredibly smart. So, we've gone through the what, but that leaves two really big questions, right? First, how in the world did these fruits get these amazing compounds in the first place? And second, probably the question on everyone's mind, what about the sugar? It's actually a pretty cool survival story. Think about it. A plant can't run away from threats like too much sun or bugs trying to eat it. So to survive, it creates its own chemical defenses. These are the colorful pigments and bitter compounds. And the beautiful part is, when we eat that plant, we get to borrow those amazing defenses for ourselves. We're literally benefiting from the plant's own survival kit. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room, the sugar question. We're told all the time to cut back on sugar, so it's a completely fair question. Is the sugar in fruit a problem? Let's get this straightened out once and for all. This really shows the night and day difference. See, the sugar in candy or soda is just sugar. It hits your system like a tidal wave and spikes your blood sugar. But in a piece of whole fruit, that sugar comes packaged with a whole team of helpers: fiber, water, vitamins, all those antioxidants we've been talking about. And that team completely changes the game. It slows everything down, so your body absorbs the sugar slowly, without that crazy spike. They are not the same thing at all. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot, from berries all the way to olives. So let's bring it all home. What is the big takeaway here? What should you stock in your own pro-health pantry? Look, here's the bottom line. It's so important to be clear about this. No single fruit is a magic bullet or a cure. That's not how it works. But what they are powerful, powerful allies. They're loaded with stuff that helps your body's own natural defense systems do their job better. They help fight inflammation, they help clear out bad stuff, and they help protect your very DNA. When you focus on a diet rich in whole foods like these, you're helping create an internal environment where it's just tougher for trouble to start. And that's what this is all about. It's not about a crazy overhaul of your life. It's about simple, small actions. So as you finish watching this, just think about the list we ran through. Which one sounds good to you today? Maybe some berries in your oatmeal tomorrow? Or a handful of grapes for a snack? Just making that one small conscious choice, that's a simple and yet incredibly powerful step you can take for your health, starting right now.